Okay, I've got something for you. The new parts have been fitted to the car. The simulation numbers are good, so look forward to your feedback. Check out the details.
And what is up, everybody? Welcome once again to my YouTube channel, and today let's finally continue with our career modes. This time around we are at the Marina Bay for the Singapore Grand Prix, and as you can see, after our great Italian Grand Prix we got a huge sum of resource points which used to get 3 upgrades in our car, which we are bringing to Singapore. It was the chassis weight, the engine power and the drag, I believe. And as you can see at the left hand side of your screens, Scuderia Ferrari have been the only other team to bring upgrades to Singapore. They used a reduction in the chassis weight, I believe, and as you can see we do not have resource points to acquire any new upgrades. But at the bottom right we have now a new option. It's the triangle button that says Seize R&D. So as you can see, choosing to seize research and development will award you a 25% bonus for any resource points you earn between now and the end of the season. Your current resource points will be banked, and any future resource points will also be banked. So we are going to seize our research and development program, so we cannot further improve our car, but we'll get bonus resource points to the next season. And with that, let's proceed to the qualifying, shall we?
It's late in the evening here in Singapore and it's time for qualifying, so settle down and enjoy the action.
So we are now going to complete our first flying lap in Q1, and we are going to cross over the line to post a 143.9, which was good enough for first place at the time. But once we come into the end of the session, Pascal Wehrlein got first place with a very good lap, a 143.5, which got first, and Daniel Kvyat with also a very good lap time. And we are going to Q2, and come Q2 we decided to go on a flying lap with a set of the super soft tires, as we are going to cross over the line with a 143.5. So if we get onto Q3, that means we are going to start the race on this set of tires, and we actually do make it through. Our teammate Pascal Wehrlein with a 143.5, which was the same lap time as we did, but he was on the ultra softs and we were on the super softs, so that's not a very good sign. But Kimi Raikkonen not getting into Q3, he got 11th place. So yeah, we will have a free set of tires for the start, but yeah, not the greatest qualifying performance from him, as we are going to cross over the line in Q3 to post a 142.7, which got us provisorily pole. But once we come onto the results table, we actually maintained, and we are the pole position, the pole sitter for the Singapore Grand Prix. Our teammate qualified 6th, Nico Rosberg and Lewis Hamilton are right behind us. A very close qualifying session, with Fernando Alonso qualifying in 8th in front of Valtteri Bottas and Daniel Kvyat, which was a very good result for the Spanish driver, as we are getting a very good amount of resource points, as you can see, along with the bonus for seizing the R&D. Now an update on our rivalry status with Valtteri Bottas. We just smashed him, and we are 12 points ahead of him. In the inter-team battle we are still smashing Wehrlein, so let's listen to what our agent has to tell us about our objectives.
Hi, guess who? I've seen the team's expectations for the race, so I thought I'd pass them on and wish you luck. Take care.
So yeah, we have to finish 7th or higher, beat Bottas and beat our teammates, and with that, let's move on into the race.
As the sun sets over the South China Sea, the sport that never sleeps is alert and raring to go. Welcome, under the bright lights of the Marina Bay circuit, to another Singapore Grand Prix. It's a very long, very physical lap, this one, and really there's not much in the way of margin for error. So we have a bit of an endurance race for you tonight. Situated just 88 miles north of the equator, this 3.5-mile circuit is hot, it's humid, and is an incredible test for the drivers as they try to fight their cars around the bumps and in between the barriers. 23 corners take us twice over the bay to complete a single lap of this unique racetrack. The view is spectacular, the heat is unbearable. The race should be incredible. Anthony Davidson is alongside me in the commentary box this evening, and big race this one, a real test of endurance. Sounds right up your alley. Wouldn't you just love to be down there on the grid right now?
You know what, Crofty? I'm pretty happy to be up here in my air conditioning, thank you, right now. I can't stress just how difficult these conditions can be, especially when you consider it's the longest race on the calendar in terms of time. It's also one of those races where you have to remember to keep drinking, or there's a real risk of dehydration, just like we saw with young Kevin Magnussen a couple of years ago, don't forget. We mentioned the bumps as well. Take a look at the onboards if you get a chance during this race. The movement in the suspension and the chassis is just incredible, and it's lots of hard work to wrestle the car around a lap here.
We're higher on the grid than we expected. Let's see if we can do even better.
So before the off, let's remind ourselves of yesterday's qualifying session with a look at the starting grid. It's Manor in pole position then, and Nico Rosberg completes the front row. Looking down the rest of the grid we have Hamilton, Verstappen, Daniel Ricciardo and Wehrlein, Vettel, Alonso, Bottas and Daniel Kvyat, Raikkonen, Button, Carlos Sainz and Perez, Hülkenberg, Magnussen, Esteban Gutierrez and Felipe Massa, Palmer and Ericsson, Romain Grosjean and Felipe Nasser starts from the back of the grid. And with preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track.
As we now have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. Lights out, and away we go for the Singapore Grand Prix as Rosberg gets a very good start compared to us. He's already side by side with us as we go under braking for turn 1. We give him the space and we also managed to retain first place, so very good job by us as we are now going on the exit of turn 4. I want to say we nearly lose the back end and looks like we are actually getting better traction out of the corners than the Mercedes as we are now going into this very long straight, but we lose the back end. Maybe the Mercedes driver can capitalize on this, but it looks like they won't. Looks like we have better top speed. I think we underfueled the car, but I am not sure at the moment, and we already got a 3/10 gap to Nico Rosberg, so we accomplished the objective of retaining first place at the end of the first sector, as we have another very big oversteer moment, so we need to keep those under control to avoid getting our tires worn out quickly. And we have already a 7/10 gap to Rosberg as we approach the start of lap 4, but this time around the German will have DRS and might be able to attack me if he is able to deploy it. As we are going onto the exit of this corner, looks like we got the traction right, and let's see if he can. Looks like he's not close enough to mount an overtaking opportunity, but it looks like he doesn't even get close at all. It was 7/10, exactly 7/10 at the end of the lap, and it's 734 tenths of a second. It was 734 thousandths of a second at the end of the first sector, so we actually gained on him. At the end of lap 5, it is 1.4 seconds of a gap to the Mercedes driver, and as you can see from the minimap, the top 3 are pulling away from the rest. P4 and P5 looks like they are also starting to pull away, and our teammate is starting to form somewhat of a train from 6th to 10th, I believe, as we are going to cross over the line to end the first sector, and we are 1.3 seconds ahead of Rosberg, so he gained a little bit on us in that first sector, but at least we are doing some progress. We need to keep the advantage on the tires, because if you go long enough, as Nico Rosberg retires from the race, he did not have a stellar qualifying performance, so a weekend to forget for the German driver. And well, we need to get a gap going so that they cannot recover it, because their ultra softs are going to start deteriorating faster than our super softs, and by then we are actually going to further increase our gap and nullify their undercut. But just as I say that, I saw that Rosberg is now only 8 tenths behind us, so he might be able to do something with the RS as we get a little bit of an understeery moment, and we might be going under attack, but it looks like not. Looks like he's once again too far away, as we actually gained on him in these 1.2 seconds. So it looks like even with the RS we are faster down the straights for some reason. And yeah, we are approaching now the end of lap 10, another great moment of oversteer. We managed to catch it once again. We are struggling very hard, we nearly lost the control as we go over the curbs there, and we have a gap of 2.8 seconds to Nico Rosberg, as we are definitely pulling away from not only the top 3 but from all other cars. And we are once again with another oversteer moment, but we managed to control it a little bit smoother than the other times, and we are going to cross over the line to get a 2.8. It's basically 2.8 seconds of a difference. We have already a 12.7 seconds of a gap to our teammate, as I was just notified by Jeff, and another very huge moment of oversteer. We are going to wreck our tires if we continue this way, and we will not be able to get a good advantage to nullify the undercuts, as Kimi Raikkonen, a disastrous weekend for him. He got knocked out at Q2, and his race is cut short at lap 16 as he makes the safety car, the virtual safety car, be deployed, as we are going to cut onto the next green flag racing period. But right after the restart, we are actually going to get notified that his teammate Sebastian Vettel is out of the race as well, so both Ferrari engines going kaput on their drivers, and this time around it looks like no form of safety car will be deployed. But nevertheless, a very unfortunate weekend for both Ferrari drivers. And well, we are increasing our gap to 3.6 seconds to Nico Rosberg. Let's see how long we can keep this up, or maybe even increase the gap, as their tires are definitely going to get worn out. And we are going once again through the first sector. Maybe Hamilton might have a look at the second place that is currently held by his teammate, but looks like not, even though he cut the gap by 1/10 at that opportunity, if I can call that. And now approaching the end of lap 18, and it looks like by the minimap that Rosberg has gotten closer. He has got closer just marginally, 3.2 seconds instead of the previous 3.3, so they are gaining back on our previous 3.6, as our teammate is going onto the pits for an undercut on some of other cars, or at least he is doing an undercut on the leaders. Our tires are mildly worn, they are still raceable, they are not falling off the cliff, but yeah, it's going to be somewhat of a struggle as Lewis Hamilton goes into the pits, and Alonso is now promoted to P3. He who started in the super soft tires, he qualified 8th, and is actually on pace for a pretty good result. And we are actually going to pit, so we did not get enough of a gap to nullify the undercut, so we are actually going to take our 3-second gap and respond to their strategy. And we are going with a set of the soft tires, as Rosberg, I believe he picked another set of the ultra softs, and Alonso is blowing past us on his super softs, is going to pit at around lap 25, and we overshot the corner right there. So Verstappen is behind us, as I think he pulled off the undercut on Hamilton. So just like Australia 2017 in real life, Max Verstappen blocking Hamilton and not allowing him to make the undercuts on the leader of the race. So we are comfortably in the lead, even though Max Verstappen has a better suited car for this racetrack, as he is in the Red Bull, and Red Bull chassis have always been pretty strong. So this is a track that suits them, and is on the ultra soft tires, so he caught up to me very quickly and is already filling up our mirrors. He does not have the opportunity to make any moves at the end of the pit straight, but now he's very close to us, and as you can see, he's carrying the Mercedes of Hamilton right behind him as well. So he might even get attacked by two cars with DRS come this straight. As we go up onto Rich Mix, Max Verstappen has the DRS, we give him the room on the inside, and under braking we are probably going to contest it. We stick our nose there, he gives us the space, very polite from him, and we are now trying to do the undercuts. We managed to not hit Hamilton, and unfortunately we were not able to get back on Verstappen, as the undercut did not result. Fortunately, our little tap on the wall did not give us any significant damage, but Hamilton had a cheeky look on the inside, but decided to refrain from any moves. As we are at the end of lap 23, Max Verstappen on the meanwhile has overtaken Alonso and is on the lead of this Grand Prix. And Alonso is going into the pits right now. We are still battling Hamilton, who has not been able to overtake us, despite we being on the soft tires and him being on the ultra soft tires. So one would expect him to have a pretty major grip advantage coming out of these corners, but just as you can see, it was turn 4 I believe, and I already gained some tenths on him. And on the exit of this corner as well, even though he will have DRS, I don't think he will be able to make any attempt, even though he's closing very rapidly. He's not closing rapidly enough for an overtaking maneuver, and all this battling made made Rosberg catch up to me and Hamilton. And well, they are both on the ultra soft tires I believe, and we are managing to keep in striking distance of Verstappen. Is not going too far away, at least by now. He might be pulling away, but it's not very major of a gap that he's pulling each lap, even though he has the grip advantage. And once again on this very long sector, and we are not going to be attacked by Hamilton. As you can see, we are still under 2 seconds of a gap to Max Verstappen, and soon his tires are going to start getting worn out, so he might not be able to keep up with pulling a gap to us, as we have posted the fastest lap of the race so far, and we cut the gap to 1.7 to Verstappen. We have a little bit of an oversteering moment under braking into turn 4. But yeah, another understeering moment right there. But we are once again getting better traction out of these corners, and Hamilton does not have the pace to mount an attacking maneuver, and we are still 1.6 seconds behind Verstappen, and Verstappen is going to go into the pits at the end of lap 30, and we are going to inherit the lead of the race once again. We were not able to get close enough to Verstappen for us to start maybe pulling away from the pair of Mercedes using any slipstream or DRS, so they are still going to fill up our mirrors. We have a pretty huge moment of oversteer, and we decided to cut the corner. We are already too slow to gain any advantage by doing that, and Lewis Hamilton has come on into the pits, and I don't know which tire is going to switch into. Maybe we can take a look at it at the upper left corner, and this makes a switch onto the super soft tire, so I don't know if he's going to take those until the end of the race. I believe so. I believe he's capable of doing that, especially with the lighter fuel on his car. But Jenson Button is now in P3, so the other McLaren Honda with a great race as well, and he is now in P3, even though he might have one less pit stop. Meanwhile, Rosberg attacked us, but he touched our rear end and got spun, as we are going to slow down the footage once again. I think we gave him plenty of space. I don't think we are at fault for that contact. I think that Rosberg may have carried too much speed onto that corner. I really don't think we are at fault here. I think we gave him plenty of room. I may be wrong though, but that's my view of it. And yeah, he was spun out, and that's curious, as our teammate Pascal Wehrlein may have pitted onto the super softs when he pitted at around lap 10, I think. But yeah, so he still has another pit stop to do, and Verstappen is probably going to close on him very rapidly, as he already posted the fastest lap of the race. We are going now onto the race situation to see Pascal Wehrlein has already been overtaken by Verstappen. Alonso is 5th, Rosberg 6th, Kvyat 7th, Perez 9th, Bottas 10th, Daniel Ricciardo with a very poor race at the moment, and Felipe Massa had a very poor qualifying display, and he has not been able to improve on it, so he's going down with the back markers. This race is battling them for 18th position, which is not a very honorable place for Felipe Massa to be in, as we are now starting lap 42, and Verstappen has been able to catch up to me. Is a little bit over 3.4 seconds behind us. I believe Hamilton, on the meantime, has overtaken the Red Bull driver and is now filling up our mirrors, as he might make some form of overtaking attempt, as he has DRS. We go under braking, we brake later, and we have the inside line, so we cover him off very nicely. But our teammate has already pitted, so he must be around 8th place as well. So order has been reset in the top 10. At least I think that everyone has the same number of pit stops at this moment, and we're going to get an attempt from Hamilton to overtake us, but this time around we are much alongside Hamilton than we were Verstappen when Verstappen tried to overtake us, and we fend him off quite easily. And we are now losing the backhand a little bit through that corner, and Hamilton does not have the space really to try anything. But we need to keep our composure. We do not need to do any mistakes, as they are very pressurizing us. And we hit the wall and we are spinning round. We let the car roll because we didn't want to worn out these tires, because we are hoping to take them until the end. But the safety car is deployed, so it looks like Hamilton was spun round, and just AI being AI, they stopped dead at the track, and Verstappen stopped as well. As you can see, we hit the barrier on the inside there, and then we took Hamilton with us, but I think he could have clearly avoided us. And Ericsson, I caught it on the corner of my eye, he also slammed onto the Red Bull, and the Red Bull was facing the barrier, so that's why he couldn't move as well. So we have a safety car being deployed, and we are going to go right onto the pits, and we are going to make a change. I believe it is onto a set of the ultra soft tires, as the pack is going to be bunched up once again. I believe everyone in the super soft tires stints are going to carry on until the end of the race, so at least I have not spotted anyone going into the pits besides Alonso. I don't know whose tires is going to option for. It looks like they will be the ultra softs, and he may be coming out in the top 10, as Jenson Button has been promoted to P5, as he is going to restart the race on the super soft tires. So let's see how much the ultra soft tires from Alonso and from ourselves are going to cope against the super soft tires, the old super soft tires that the top 3 are currently using, as we have Jenson Button in 5th, Alonso 6th, Bottas in 7th, Pascal Wehrlein is pitted onto the soft tires, so he might as well be in a chance to get something done, as he will have he does not have the quicker compound, but he probably has a tire wear advantage, so that might as well be even better than having a faster tire at the moment. But now we are just restarting the race, and we make a move on Verstappen on pace alone. Braking later, we nearly overshoot the corner, but we make it stick, and we are already up to P3. Hamilton and Rosberg got a few car lengths as we are battling with the Dutch driver, but nevertheless we are now on the hunt for them, as we are now chasing Hamilton, who is letting Rosberg go away a little bit. So I think that Rosberg has slightly better tires than his British teammate, and this time around we do not have the move, but we make a tighter turn and we are actually able to go on the inside of Hamilton on the exit, and he pinches us onto the wall. We knocked another bit of our front wing, but it looks like we are still able to make corners decently well, and we are faster than the leaders, or at least everyone else that is carrying the super softs. So we are now approaching the end of lap 54, and we are right on the back of Nico Rosberg, as we have already pulled a 6-second gap to Lewis Hamilton. So I don't know what sort of problems is the British driver suffering with his car at the moment, but he has gone very down on pace, and he is already forming a train of at least 2 cars, at least as Max Verstappen and probably both McLarens right behind him, as we are going to have DRS rich mix. We are going to attack Rosberg, as we have plenty of fuel to push, as we conserved lots of it during the safety car period. We post the fastest first sector of the race in the process, and we get our move done. So we are leading the Singapore Grand Prix, and coming now at the end of the first sector of lap 56, Felipe Massa is out of the race, so another weekend to forget for the Brazilian driver, and Nico Rosberg is just not able to do anything for us or against us, and another virtual safety car is deployed. So we're going to skip until the end of the safety car period, and we are now at the end of lap 58, and as you can see we are clearly too much ahead of Rosberg, even though our tires might be wearing out quite quickly, as Rosberg just gains 0.2 of a second on us. And we are going now to get to start our penultimate lap of the Singapore Grand Prix. As you can see from the results at top left hand corner, where Verstappen has overtaken the Mercedes of Lewis Hamilton, so that's going to be very good for the championship battle. The championship battle, I mean, as Verstappen is currently chasing Hamilton for the lead of the championship. So he will make a slight cut on Hamilton's lead, as we are going once again in the DRS zone, but Rosberg does not have the top end speeds to catch up to us for some reason. And we are now going to start the lap 61. We are going through under the bridge, and we are going through the last couple of corners in the 60th lap. We are going to start the 61st lap. As we get notified by Jeff, there is only 1 lap of fuel, but we do not need anything more than that to finish the race, as Rosberg is going to try a move. It is an all or nothing moment for him. He goes on the inside, I give him the move, no contact whatsoever this time around, and we maintain our leading position, even though Rosberg is very close to us. So let's see if we can keep him at bay on the next straight. It looks like not, as we have very understeery moments and poor traction coming out of that corner, and he's actually making his move stick even before the braking zone. We have to die for it, an all or nothing move at this point, and Rosberg gives us the room once again, side by side with him through this corner. We are going to make a move like we did on his teammate a couple of laps previously, and he actually gives us the place. He does not try to outbrake us or go side by side with us through this left-hander. It just gives the space, and we were able to close a little bit of the door on him, and it does not have the exit he wanted, so we were able to retain our first place. So unless he makes something very good at this straight, I don't think he will be able to do anything to get first place from us. and looks like not, he does not have the space. A 7/10 lead between us and the German driver. So I believe this is it, unless we make any big mistake. Let's just see, we can still win it in the next corner, as it is a very challenging corner, but looks like we are taking it easy. We only need to not give any room for an attack from Rosberg. We are being very conservative at the moment. Rosberg does not have any space whatsoever to try anything at this point, and we are going to the last corner and cross over the line to take our second win in a row, and we take on the silverware at the Singapore Grand Prix. A fantastic result from us.
So, another fantastic victory for Manor today. And I have to wonder, Anthony Davidson, just what set them apart from the competition here.
The difference was clearly in the strategy. You could tell they'd done a lot of work on the pit wall to really optimise each stint and get the most out of the tyres. And it highlights just how much of a team sport this really is. But credit to the driver as well, though. There's no good having a well-oiled machine behind the scenes without a talented hand on the wheel, of course.
Well, I'm thoroughly exhausted after the excitement of that race, but I'm sure it's nothing compared to our drivers here. They've worked hard to make it up there, and it's great to see them make their way out onto the podium.
So we are now at the results table, and we won, followed by Rosberg, Verstappen, Alonso, who actually overtook Hamilton, then Bottas, then Ricciardo, then Kvyat, our teammate, not having the best of races compared to his qualifying performance, and ended up in P9, and Sergio Perez with P10. Now on the driver standings, we are in 6th. We jumped Bottas and Vettel, Alonso jumped Massa, Kvyat jumped Hülkenberg and Button, I believe, and in the constructor standings we are still in 5th position, but we are making strides to make sure we take the fight to the Williams team. And this is it for the race. We unfortunately could not show you any of the TV style replays because the game had that annoying bug where it only shows you the last 3 laps of the race on that replay mode instead of the full race for some reason. And well, I could not record any of the TV style cameras for you guys as much as I would like to do it. So this is it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed the race, hope you guys enjoyed the video. So if you did, leave a like button. If you did not, the dislike button is right beside the like button. Comment away if you want to tell me something about this race, or just tell me anything in general. Hope you guys enjoyed. See you in the next Grand Prix, and have a wonderful day.